Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. I am, of course, Reader Lazar. Today is the 21st of June. As according to the old calendar, I again am Reader Lazar. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. Today we have a couple of saints. There's only one entry in the book. Obviously, tomorrow, technically, there are no entries, but tomorrow is the correct day for St. Albans, so this might cause some confusion, but I'm gonna basically redo the reading of St. Alban tomorrow. Because technically tomorrow is actually when we as Orthodox Christians do celebrate Saint Alban. So anyway, without further ado, the first of our saints and the only saint that's recorded in the book is Saint Cormac, and he is from the 6th century. Saint Cormac was a disciple of Saint Columba, who we commemorate back on June 9th. Back on the 9th of June, who made him abbot of Durrow in County Offaly in Ireland. Nothing further is known about his life. His entry in the group chat goes as follows. Saint Cormac Ua Lefiain was a 6th century Irish saint who is only known for Adamnan of Iona's Vita Columbae. So he's only known from, the life of Saint Columba. In Adamnan's narrative, St. Cormac is mentioned 3 times. He's described as an anchorite who searches for islands on which to live as a hermit in prayer. It is also said that he is a founder of monasteries. On the first occasion, Columba prophesies that Cormac had just set sail from the district of Eris beyond the River Moy that day to find a place of retreat, but found none. Columba said that God would not allow him to find one because he was travelling with a monk who was away without his abbot's permission. On the second occasion, Cormac made a second attempt to find a place of refuge by sailing off into the sea. Columba prophetically knew all about this, and being in Pictland with King Brede first at the time, and knowing that Cormac would find his way to the Orkney Islands, which at the time were a sub-kingdom under the Picts, requested that the king should make sure that if any of his brethren came to the Orkney Islands, they would be treated well. Bride obeyed the request, and when Cormac arrived there, he was protected from harm. According to the narrative, a few months later, the monks at Iona were talking about Cormac and whether his voyage had succeeded. And Columba told them that Cormac would arrive at Iona that day, and he then did arrive just as the saint foretold. It is not clear that the narrative whether this meant he only spent a few months in Orkney in total, or if he later went back to Orkney after visiting Iona. According to the narrative, however, Cormac also made a 3rd journey into the ocean to find a place of refuge. His ship was driven by a steady southerly wind for 14 days, which pushed him very far to the north. Then his boat was attacked by a large swarm of frog-sized flightless insects. Cormac feared that they might puncture the skin covering the boat and prayed to God. Columba, who was present in spirit, was aware of what was happening, and he called his monks to come and pray together for Cormac. In answer to these prayers, God reversed the wings and made it send them back to the south. Cormac then came to see Columba again. On the 3rd occasion, Cormac, along with 3 other Irish saints, Saint Kynac, Saint Comgall, and Saint Brendan the Navigator, came to visit Saint Columba and found him on the island of Hinba. They chose Columba to be the celebrant at Mass, and during the Mass, Saint Brendan saw a ball of radiant fire over Columba's head. Our next saint of the day is Saint Mewan, which in Latin is Mevenus. In British, that is Mevon, and in French, that's mean, or something like that. And he is from the 6th century. Was a Celtic saint active in Wales, Cornwall, and Brittany. Most documentation of his life can be found in the Breton Vita Meveni. Saint Mewan was of an Irish family from Ergning and was a relative of Saint Samson of Dol. He travelled to Columba with Saint Samson and Saint Austell, and founded the church at St. Mewan near Austell. Mewan is said to have been the godfather of Austell. They followed Samson of Dol to Brittany. After Samson of Dol's passing, Mewan travelled to meet the Breton king Warroch, King Warwick II of Gwynedd, and had to cross the vast Pine Pont forest. There he met a wealthy landowner named Cadfan, who offered him lodging and food for the night. After spending the evening conversing with Muin, Cadfan could not resolve himself to let Muin go. Deeply moved by what he had heard, Cadfan offered to donate all his possessions to erect a church and an abbey at Gyle, on the condition that Muin himself would build and inhabit it. Originally dedicated to St. John the Baptist, the abbey was later named the Abbey of St. Mien, or St. Mion. And our final saint of the day is St. Engelmund, also known as Ingelmund or Eingelmund of Velsen, and he died the 14th of May, 739. He was an English missionary to Frisia. He was educated in his native country and entered the Benedictine order. He was ordained a priest and later became an abbot. Although born in England, he lived in Friesland with his parents and so knew the language. He travelled to Frisia to join St. Willibrord in evangelizing the region. Engelmund was based at Velsen near Haarlem, where he later died at an advanced age of fever. May those saints intercede for us before the righteous judge. I will, of course, promote this. So, depending on when this is uploaded, in you've got less than 9 hours, but technically I did say I would promote it until the Saturday. So I obviously won't make mention of, I won't promote it obviously tomorrow. I'll probably just give it was a decent day, and, direct you where you can see some of whatever images are taken. And depending on factors, I might try and encourage a video to be made to encourage other parishes. Anyway, pilgrimage to St. Lazarus, which is the Serbian church here in Birmingham. Tomorrow, which is the 5th of July, celebration of All Saints of Great Britain and Ireland. Divine Liturgy is 9 a.m. in English. Come and see. So, in case anybody's wondering, I cannot... So, I know we intend to do this kind of event yearly. I just don't know when in July it's actually going to be from now on. So, I can't actually comment on that for next year. But, again, obviously, I guess once we're done with the Saints, once we're done reading all of the Lives of the British Saints, I might have to do some of the earlier episodes again, just for the simple fact that, we now have extra entries for each day because of the group chat. But I don't know. I'll probably redo them up until, maybe April or something. Anyway. But that's a bridge we'll come to when we have to cross it. Anyway. I've took up enough of your time. I hope you all have a very wonderful day. I hope I see some of you tomorrow. And if not, then no worries. Feel free to steal this idea and do it yourself at your parish. I think it's a great way to promote, one, pan-Orthodox events, a good thing in general. Two, to promote, and two, especially to just promote British Saints, whether that be just as a pan-Orthodox event or even just as a local event. It's good for the country and good for the faith in this land. Anyway, again, I've took up enough of your time, so I hope you all had a wonderful day. God bless you all, and Amen.